G'day everyone, in this video we'll be reviewing the Daiwa Tatula 100 and 200 baitcaster reels, which I've been using for the last 2 seasons while chasing Australian bass and Murray cod. Let's get stuck into it. So there are a few reels that I was looking at when I was intending to buy a swim bait outfit. I already decided on the Tatula rod, 76XHSB I think it was. The Shimano Corrado was the first thought, and also I had a look at the Abu Revo as well. Being that I'd come from a Black Max reel in my other small water sort of startup setup, I was really impressed with that reel for the price and stuff like that. So yeah, I obviously went Abu to start with also. Now there was a couple of points of difference with the Tatula on those reels which I liked in the specs, and that was the MagForce cast brake system. I like the idea of that, and also the T-wing casting line guide as well, which I really like the look of, and just the overall pitch made sense to me with how the line comes off the reel. So yeah, happy with that. Secondary to that was obviously the look of the reel. Obviously it looks awesome. I'm a sucker for the matte black and the spider graphics, so yeah, like probably many of you are as well. Really nice looking reel. That being said, let's take a little deeper look into the reels themselves and have a look at some of the specs. So an overview of the reels would be that they've got a strong aluminium body, star clicker drag, variants on, depending on the reel, 90 and 100 mil handles. You can get EVA knob handles for them and things like that if you prefer that. They just come with the standard rubber handles on them for these reels. The long shaft spool design is, I think, pretty standard around most reels, I think. The MagForce cast brake system is obviously a Daiwa thing. And the point of difference between MagForce and MagForce Z, I think, lends a nod to the zero adjuster on the spool tension knob on the 100. So the 100 has a zero adjust knob on the spool tension. So yeah, that's preset from the factory. All you have to do is adjust the cast brake to actually fix that up, to, you know, depending on your lure choice and things like that, or conditions you are in, down out on the water, I should say. Now the drag pressure on the 100 and the 200 are respectively fairly similar. It's 5 kilos for the 100, about 6 kilo for the 200, so pretty similar. A little more on the 200 obviously, but I tend to have that locked when I'm trying to pull cod out of snags and things like that. I tend to use a little more drag on the 100 though, which is very smooth and yeah, good when you want it. So that's that. The weight on both of those reels, it's 195 grams for the 100, 230 grams for the 200. So yeah, not super light, but not really that heavy either. Not too far apart from each other in the weight category of things. Gear ratio options. Gear ratio options would be anywhere ranging between 5.5 to 1 to 8.1 to 1. 5.5 to 7.3 to 1 on the 200 range, so they're the gear ratios for that reel. 6.3 all the way up to 8.1 on the 100. So they're the kind of gear ratio ranges you've got in both those reel sizes. The price, $299.99 retail for the 100, $379.99 for the 200. Now, yes, it's not the cheapest reel out on the market, obviously, but I found that, you know, for 2 seasons of abuse with myself, I haven't had them fault once. They're really good for the most part. So yeah, definitely, you know, you're getting a much more sturdy and reliable unit versus, say, your sub $200 reels. Which, you know, may give you some reliability issues especially if you use gear like I do. Yeah, so these are even apparently, you know, designed for saltwater use as well. So they're really good for that sort of, you know, what do you say, high use, high abuse kind of a situation that, you know, we find ourselves putting them in, especially myself when I'm fishing, you know, most weeks. Especially in peak season. So the reels have been on the market for a while, so deals do pop up from time to time. Tackle shops will do deals from time to time if you want to buy new. Also, you know, having said that, you will find them on Marketplace propping up next to new, or, you know, still in great condition for a lot cheaper. For example, I bought one of my 100 reels secondhand. That cost me $150, and I couldn't be happier. So I was sort of half the recommended retail price really. So yeah, very, very happy with that. Even if you bought one at $200, albeit, you know, being in good condition, I think you're getting a great reel for the money. So yeah, worth a look at. So before you go out and buy any reel for that matter, you would obviously take into consideration what it is your intended use is for that reel. So for example, you wouldn't go and buy a 5.5 to 1 gear ratio 200 size reel to go and throw 1/4 ounce jigs for bass, for example. I mean, that's a pretty obvious example for most people to understand. Needless to say, you wouldn't do it on the polar opposite of that. Get an 8.1 to 100 size reel and go and throw, you know, a Battalion 190 or a 10-inch mag draft or something like that, because that'll just kill the reel. And the other one is just overkill in weight rating, wouldn't cast very well, and also it wouldn't take up line nearly quick enough to, you know, to set hooks into bass and stuff like that with a 5.5 to 1. I'm sure you could probably manage it somehow, but it wouldn't be very user-friendly in those situations. So yeah, so just pay attention to what your intended use is for that reel and buy accordingly. Speak to your tackle specialist. Obviously, they can give you great advice on what products to purchase based on your needs and what you're trying to actually achieve with the fishing you're doing. So there were 5 things that I probably would consider as pros with this reel. First of all is the price. I think it's, you know, the right price for the quality of reel you're getting. It's sturdy, it's strong, it's not going to let you down. I've used it for 2 seasons, and like I said, I've had very minimal problems with them. They've been fantastic. The feel of them is fantastic also. So just, you know, general operation, everything feels together and works smoothly. You don't feel like you're, you know, grinding gears up and stuff like that, like my Abu reel is at the moment. It's a spare reel, it's got a lot of abuse, and it's $99 worth of reel. I don't expect it to last that long because it's a beginner's reel. So yeah, by the way, if you are just getting into it and you want a good beginner's setup, check out the card in this video. I'll leave a link there for you to go and check that video out. It's a review of my beginner's cod setup, basically. Back to the pros of these reels are the castability. They cast absolutely phenomenally, I think. They're smooth, they don't bird's nest nearly that often at all, unless it's operator error. They've got a smooth drag when you want it, as I said before with the 100 when I use the drag on that. It's smooth, it's predictable, and it helps me land fish, so I'm really happy with that. Cons, probably with one thing with the 200 is after a while for myself, because I've got little tiny short sausage fingers and big fat palms, tends to not go well with sort of larger sized reels. It's not a huge reel, but it's still a little big for my hands. Therefore it gets a bit cumbersome after a while, especially when using it in the small stuff. You're doing a lot of, you know, precision shorter casts and things like that. So you're doing a lot more casting in those situations. Whereas in, for example, Eildon, for example, you're literally just bombing large cast most of the time. So the size doesn't really bother me too much with that size setup. With the 100, I've used it for 2 seasons and I can't really fault it. You know, if I was to nitpick at it at all, if it could throw slightly lighter lures, right down to plastics, it'd mean I won't have to carry a spin setup with me as much, because I usually use that for plastics. But you're starting to get into finesse bait casting, then that sort of realm. If you could get a broad spectrum like that out of one reel, that'd be fantastic. But I can understand the practicality with that not being very easy to accomplish. So yeah, sure, it might happen one day, but at the moment the technology's not there, so that's fine. Who is this reel for? I'd say it's for a budget-conscious fisherman that wants a sturdy and reliable product that's got predictable performance. And I think that is exactly what Daiwa had in mind with this sort of thing, and also to, you know, be probably overperform for the price range, really. They are fantastic and I absolutely love them. The 200 offers amazing power, nice gear ratios, really good, and the gearing in them feels nice. They're smooth in operation, and like I said, they're just a tough as nails reel. really, really good. The 100, pretty much the same in relation to how it operates, only just feels even nicer in the hand for myself especially. I've got small hands, as I said before, that fits in my palm beautifully, and I just never get tired of using it. It's probably my favourite reel out of the two for those reasons. So for my cod fishing setups, I have two Daiwa Tatula 200s. The first one I bought was this one here. Daiwa Tatula 200p, which is a 5.5 to 1 gear ratio reel. Obviously, I said before, it's got the mag force, all the stuff that I went through before. I'm running straight through Ultraless YGK fluorocarbon with a short bite leader on this. I've currently got the Battalion 190 strapped to that one. I usually throw smaller lures than this though, but an 8-inch, or I'd say lighter lures. I usually throw a 8-inch mag draft with this setup. But this is a Daiwa Tatula 76 XHSB model. So one of the sort of more recent Tatula swim bait rods. So that's the first cod setup. The second cod setup I've got is on the older model 7.6 rod. This is another Daiwa Tatula 200, but this is the HS model. It is 7.3 to 1 gear ratio. I'm running a braid setup, so 50 pound braid, 50 pound leader. I usually run my surface lures on this one, but I also throw swim baits and stuff like that. This usually goes on my Miller Cod Freak, this reel. Just recently upgraded to a Gomexus handle as well, which I absolutely love. It's fantastic. So yeah, that's that reel, and there's the other one. For my bass setups, or bass and yellers, I guess you would say, I've got two Daiwa Tatula 100s, both running a 20 pound leader. This has got J braid Grand on it, 20 pound, J thread leader, 12 pound or 10 pound, or up to 15 pound, depending on what type of application I'm using, or what kind of, what kind of fishing and what kind of area I'm in. Same with this one, 20 pound, but this is Suffix 832 on this reel. Both 7 to 1 gear ratio reels. As I said, it's got the zero adjuster and the Mag Force C and all that stuff that I went through earlier as well. So this one with the 832, this usually goes on my jigging outfit. So I usually run the heavier leaders on that one. This new one has been put on my 13 Fishing Envy 610, which I am currently using on with spinner baits and other smaller crankbaits and things like that. Just general heavier moving baits, things like that. So yeah, they're my reels. So if you're interested in buying one of these reels to try out for yourself, Fisherman's Office subscribers receive a 10% discount at Hookup Bait and Tackle for any purchase of the Daiwa Tatula reels, or any other product in store. So make sure you take advantage of that, guys. Go and have a chat with them. If you're not in Melbourne, or you're not in Victoria even, I'm sure that they'll be able to arrange to ship those goods out to you anywhere you are staying, or anywhere you are living. So yeah, make sure you check those guys out. They're my preferred tackle shop. Really enjoy those guys, great advice, and just good people. So yeah, go and say good day. So I hope you enjoyed this review. If you did enjoy the video, drop a thumbs up on it. Also leave comments if you think I missed anything, or if there's anything you've got to add, insight on your experiences with these reels, anything that's going to add value to this review. I'm obviously all for that. If you do enjoy these sorts of videos and you'd like to see more from us, drop a subscribe on us as well, and ring the bell to receive notifications for new videos. That way you won't miss out on anything. Thanks very much. It was a pleasure doing this one. Just keep flicking.